Think back to the last time you sunk 100 hours into a game. It was probably something like Skyrim or Fallout, right? A game like those, namely an RPG with hundreds of mechanics, items, and locations, is easy to get lost in for hours on end. But simple games, like ones about riding a bike, can be just as capable of keeping players entertained for long play sessions. How do they do it? They be addicting. Today we're looking at Descenders, a fairly simple mountain biking game that I couldn't put down. We're going to be talking about what makes Descenders great, and how to keep your players coming back for more even after they die hundreds of times. I'm Jack Green, and this is Hybrid Plays. I found Descenders on Twitter one day when I scrolled by a video of somebody playing through the Wipeout-style bike-out course. It just looked like a genuine fun time, so I put the game on my radar. A few days later, when it went on sale, I picked the game up on Steam and started playing. I found myself immediately having a blast. Descenders finds itself in the strange yet wonderful category of being a downhill biking roguelike. Yes, you heard right, each run in this game is completely different because the tracks are procedurally generated. I reached out to the developers for more information on how this is done. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how you guys design the procedural tracks for Descenders? Is this Jake from Descenders?
No, this is Domino's.
Excellent, thank you. Descenders features two main modes to compete in. The easier career mode and the tougher career plus mode, which you need to unlock separately. Each of these careers has 4 worlds that you have to make your way through. Each of these worlds is a map with randomly generated nodes that each represent a track, and each track is procedurally generated. Qualities like steepness, curviness, and amount of stunt objects are randomly produced when the track is created. Some tracks will be a straight shot down a very steep hill, while others will be more shallow and stunt-oriented.
Tons of stunts!
Each track also has a random bonus objective, such as getting to the finish line within the time limit or doing a certain amount of backflips. Completing these objectives rewards you with health points.
Health points?
Yes, health points. You see, every time you crash, you lose some health, and when you've lost all of your health, your run ends and you've got to start over completely.
Bro, that's fucking wild, honestly.
This is where the roguelike elements come into play. Your goal is to complete the whole league, that is, make it through the hillside, the forest, the canyon, and the peaks without losing all of your health. If you crash too many times, you're sent right back to the start. Permanent progress is made in the way of shortcuts. By completing these boss objectives at the end of each map, you'll make progress towards being able to skip that world entirely next time. So if you land this jump 3 times, you'll be able to skip the hillside and start your next run right from the forest. This game is easy to learn and fun to master. The controls are simple but allow for a lot of possibilities when it comes to doing tricks. The joysticks are used to rotate the bike manually, allowing you to essentially make your own tricks, and doing so is a blast to pull off. It's really satisfying to land a quadruple backflip, or a double 360 spin, or this crazy fucking shit I somehow pulled off where I spun through every axis on the material plane.
I ended up like upside down, I cut the bars, I was like, dude! And my bro was over there, he's like, yo,
Riding the bike feels intuitive and natural. It controls how you would expect it to. Not too heavy, not too light, and the momentum feels perfect. This game has an awesome sense of danger when you're blasting down a hill going 60 kilometers an hour. Descenders is actually so realistic, it made me better at riding a bike in real life too. Check it out! Descenders doesn't exactly have a lot of variation when it comes to gameplay. It's pretty much just ride the bike, which is why addictiveness is its strongest weapon. The very core of this game is fun to play. Even if you stripped out the environments, procedural tracks, customization options, and weather variations, you would still have a really fun bike to control. I found myself getting lost in the hub area, just riding around doing tricks, completely forgetting that I had been meaning to start another run. I'd also find myself doing this when I had meant to turn the game off. I'd return here with the intention of quitting the game, and I'd end up playing around on the half-pipes for another 20 minutes. Riding is just so much fun. It can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be, just like the real deal. If you want to go down a track keeping a low speed and doing minimal tricks, you can do that. And if you want to go balls to the wall and try to pull off double front flips while going at breakneck speed through a dense forest, you can do that too, if you've got the skill. This is the heart of addicting game design. Riding the bike literally never gets old, and thus the repetition of the gameplay loop goes mostly unnoticed. Another factor that adds to Descenders' addictiveness is the fast respawn times. This may sound simple or even obvious, but in a game like this, where your player is bound to fail over and over again, it's vital that they're able to get right back out there after failing. Another game that does this is Celeste. Celeste is a game where you die a million times in each level, so the designers made the actual act of dying and respawning very quick. You don't have to sit through a game over screen or wait to load your last save, you just pop right back into the action at the start of the current room. This drastically reduces the time spent not playing the game in between deaths, and games are much more likely to be addicting if there's never any break in the action. For instance, let's say you're playing a Metroidvania and it's almost bedtime. You're probably not going to turn off the game in the middle of an enemy-filled room, right? Of course not. You're going to wait until you get to the nearest save room or friendly location. And even if you're playing a game that you can save at any time, you're probably still going to do this. The reason is because stopping in the middle of action is much harder than stopping during a rest period. If the action is still going, your player is probably going to keep playing. And that's why games like Celeste and Descenders succeed at being so hard to put down, because there's hardly ever any long break in the action. As soon as you die, you're right back in the swing of things, and you say, what's one more try? And that's how you stay up till 3 AM before a calculus final. All in all, Descenders has been an excellent find. It's fun, it's satisfying, and it's easily one of the most addictive games I've played this year, if not ever. When it comes to game design, addiction is something everyone is always looking to capture. Just look at the App Store, for instance. If you're aiming to make your own game addicting, whether it's about bike riding or not, I hope this video has helped. Let's review the major points one more time to summarize. Simple, easy to learn controls and mechanics definitely help hook players into your game. Like I said before, Descenders is easy to learn and hard to master. The only controls are the triggers for going and stopping, and the joysticks for turning, rotating, and doing tricks. Games like Celeste, Flappy Bird, and Temple Run are the same way. The goal is simple and the mechanics don't take long to understand. Make sure your core gameplay is strong before the addition of content. I've expressed this in my other videos, but a huge part of addicting gameplay is having a fun character to control. Descenders makes bike riding fun as hell, whether you're doing crazy stunts at high speeds or just putting around the hub world. And lastly, make sure to get your players right back into the action as soon as they die. If they don't have to sit through a loading screen or a cutscene, they're way more likely to try again and again. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Before I go, I just want to give a shout out to my very special patrons who help support this channel. You guys are the best. If there's an indie game that you've been playing recently that you want me to check out here on the channel, please let me know. You can DM me on Twitter or just comment right below and tell me about it. Feel free to like this video or subscribe if you found this video helpful or enjoyable, and other than that, I will see you guys next time. Take care, you guys.
Blow the fuck up.